You got the thing, the grade, the job, the relationship, the money, the body, the apartment with the nice kitchen, and for about 4 minutes, it felt incredible. Then something happened that nobody warned you about. It stopped being enough. And the most terrifying part? You are already scanning for the next thing. Because somewhere inside, you believe that the next one, will finally do it. It won't. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why. And more importantly, where the thing you've actually been looking for this whole time is hiding. Here's something that probably nobody has said to you directly. You are addicted, not to achievement itself, to the feeling you believe achievement will give you. The feeling of being enough, of being seen, of finally being able to exhale. And humans are extraordinary at this particular addiction because it's the one society calls ambition. We dress it up. We celebrate it. We put it on LinkedIn with 15 hashtags. But underneath the hustle, underneath the promotion celebrations and the fitness progress photos, there is a question that never fully goes away. Am I enough yet? Think about the last time you hit a goal. Really sit with it. Maybe it was finishing a degree, landing a new role, losing weight, growing your income. Whatever it was. And for a moment, it landed. Pride. Relief. You did it. Then, within days, sometimes hours, your brain had already moved the goalpost. Suddenly the degree isn't from a good enough university. The role doesn't pay enough. The body could be better. The income, other people have more. This is not a willpower problem. This is not an ambition problem. This is a wiring problem. And here's the part that will either make you laugh or make you slightly uncomfortable, probably both. We spend years becoming someone we think other people will approve of. We build careers we didn't choose. We shrink in rooms to avoid conflict. We post things online hoping strangers, people we have never met, people whose own lives are chaos, will double tap us into feeling real. Humans are fascinating. We will literally ignore our own intuition, scroll through 300 strangers' lives, then wonder why we feel disconnected from ourselves. And the worst part, every time an achievement lands, every time external validation arrives, it confirms the belief that made us seek it. That belief that something was missing, that you were not quite enough, yet. So the next achievement feels necessary, and the cycle, quietly, invisibly, begins again. But here is the question I want you to sit with before we go deeper. What if the emptiness isn't a signal that you need more? What if it's a signal that you've been looking in completely the wrong direction? Hold that. Before we go deeper, I want to say something to whoever needs to hear this. If you're watching this and you've done everything right on paper, the grades, the goals, the grind, and you still feel like something fundamental is missing, you're not broken. You're not ungrateful. You're not lazy. You're just looking in the direction everybody told you to look. This video exists because I want to point somewhere different. All right, let's go deeper. Now, here is where it gets interesting. This experience, achieving something and feeling nothing, is not new. It is not a modern mental health crisis or a social media byproduct. Humans have been describing this exact feeling for thousands of years. In the 1840s, a Danish philosopher named Søren Kierkegaard called it the aesthetic trap. The idea that a life built entirely around external pleasure, status, and stimulation always ends in the same place. Despair. Not because life is painful, but because no amount of external experience satisfies what is fundamentally an internal hunger. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, one of the most powerful men in the world, wrote privately in his journal something most powerful people never admit. The obstacle is not outside. It is the soul that assigns it power. And in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 17, verse 21. Jesus says something that has been misinterpreted for 2,000 years. He says, "The kingdom of heaven is within you." Not above you, not at the end of a career path, not waiting for you once you hit your income goal, within you, now. Ancient traditions, from the Stoics to the Hermetics to Eastern philosophy, all pointed with extraordinary consistency at the same discovery. The external world is a reflection of the internal world. Not a metaphor, a mechanism. The Hermetic principle of correspondence states, "As above, so below, as within, so without." What is happening inside the mind, the beliefs, the emotional frequency, the sense of self, is continuously being projected outward into the experience of reality. I want to be careful here, because I'm not going to tell you that ancient spirituality and modern science are the same thing. They're not. They ask different questions. But there is something worth noting. Modern neuroscience has documented a system in the brain called the Reticular Activating System, the RAS. It is essentially a filter. Out of the approximately 11 million bits of information your senses receive every second, your conscious mind can process around 50. The RAS decides which 50 make it through. And how does it choose? Based on what it already believes is relevant. Based on your existing sense of identity. Based on what you've told yourself, consciously or not, that you are and what you deserve. Which means, if you carry a belief that you are not quite enough, the brain will filter for evidence that confirms it. Every achievement becomes background noise. Every success becomes temporary. The goalpost moves because the belief demands it. This is why confident people seem to attract more. Why certain people walk into rooms and things shift. It's not luck. It's not some mystical frequency that only enlightened beings access. It's the fact that what you believe about yourself determines what your brain is even capable of perceiving as possible. And here's where it becomes uncomfortable. The belief that something is missing from your life, that belief right there, is the very mechanism that keeps it missing. You cannot find fulfillment by achieving more if the internal state creating the search doesn't change first. So what does that mean in practice? It means the achievement isn't the problem. Achievement is beautiful. Creating, building, growing, that is human. That is right. The problem is why you're achieving, and from where. Are you achieving from a place of lack, trying to become enough? Or from a place of already knowing your worth, choosing to create because creation is the expression of who you already are? Those two look identical from the outside. They feel completely different from the inside. And they produce completely different realities. So let me reframe everything. You have been operating from a model that says, achieve to become worthy, to feel enough. That model is backwards. The model that actually works looks like this. Choose your worth. Operate from that frequency. Achieve as an expression of who you already are. The sequence matters. The internal state is not the reward for the external achievement. The internal state is the origin of the external reality. Think about your finances for a moment. Most people are working harder, more strategy, more hustle, more hours, and wondering why the ceiling won't move. But the ceiling isn't a strategy problem. It's an identity problem. It's a frequency problem. Your financial reality is capped not by your work ethic, but by what you fundamentally believe you are worth and capable of receiving. The same logic runs through every relationship you've ever had. You do not attract the partner you want. You attract the partner that matches who you currently believe you are. Every relationship reflects back your current self-concept, the level of love you believe you deserve to receive, your health. Your body responds to the dominant emotional frequency of your mind. Chronic stress, which is chronic low frequency, directly affects biology. This is not woo. This is cortisol, inflammation, immune response. The inner state isn't separate from the physical body. It is running it, and your sense of belonging. You can be in a room full of people who love you and feel completely alone if you are homeless within yourself. Belonging doesn't start externally. It starts the moment you stop treating your own presence as the least important one in the room. Now, and this is the shift, here is what reclaiming that means. It doesn't mean becoming arrogant. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It doesn't mean manifesting a sports car by thinking hard. It means this. Stop asking external reality to tell you who you are. Start deciding internally and letting external reality catch up. When you walk into a room needing approval, the room feels it. When you walk in already complete, something changes. You speak differently. You listen differently. You make different decisions. Not because you faked confidence, but because you are no longer looking to the room to tell you whether you're allowed to exist fully. This is what autonomy means. Autonomy, self-governance, the kingdom that is already within. Not because you earned it, but because it never required earning. The version of you that keeps recreating the same results, chasing and arriving and feeling empty and chasing again, that is not who you are. That is a frequency, and frequencies can change. So, back to where we started. You got the thing, and it wasn't enough. Now you know why. The emptiness was never a verdict on your effort. It was a compass pointing inward. Every time external achievement failed to fill you, it was life showing you, patiently and repeatedly, that you were looking in the wrong direction. The ancient traditions knew this. The philosophers knew this. And quietly inside you, some part of you has always known this too. That no amount of external proof was ever going to settle the question. Because the question was never, have I achieved enough? The question was always, am I allowed to be whole right now before the next thing? And the answer, the one that changes everything, is yes. So here is something practical, something you can actually do today. For the next 24 hours, just notice. Every time you feel a pull toward your phone, toward comparison, toward a dopamine hit from external validation, pause for 3 seconds and ask yourself, what am I looking for? And have I checked inside first? That's it. Not a morning routine, not a 30-day program. Just that 3-second pause. A tiny redirect of attention, from outside to within. Because here's the truth about building inner sovereignty. It doesn't happen in one revelation. It happens in the accumulation of small moments where you choose not to outsource your power. Each time you choose that, you change the frequency. And the frequency you operate from determines what is even possible to perceive, attract, and create. That is not motivation. That is mechanics. Ask yourself, who are you without your achievements? Who are you without anyone watching? Who are you before you've earned today? If you can sit with those questions without flinching, you've already started. That is where autonomy begins. If this shifted something in you, subscribe. Every week we go deeper. And if you want to take this further, the link in the description goes somewhere worth clicking.